get it into full screen. And play. So yeah, this is the game in full screen. And so the therapist says, "Hi Johnny, how are you doing?" And you press A to continue. Yeah. So the game is basically about therapy, which is basically repairing people mentally. Since the theme of Game Jam 2020 is repair, we wanted to make a game about repairing people mentally. That was what we agreed on. There were many concepts, but unanimously we voted that we would make a game about repair and repairing people mentally. So, yeah, I can see people are having a laugh because there's Elias Chipimo Jr. in the background. Our real president, might I add. Yes, it's necessary to have a portrait of him in a psychiatrist's office. So, yeah. So, as we go on, we can just advance the story by pressing some of the keys. So, yeah. As the story progresses, we intend for the patient to sort of open up to the player character more and reveal what's bothering them and their grievances, sort of in a similar way, but not totally the same as something like Persona or, just one of the Megami Tensei games. So as you go on, the story is intended to get deeper and the characters are intended to reveal more, and there'll be a lot more depth, and like any game, as you progress, the difficulty goes up. That's what we're planning, but for now it's just a basic demo to show you that the game works and it exists. Yeah. So yes, that's basically it. Yeah, it's first time at Game Jam. I have tried to make games in the past, simple platformers, a rail shooter, I guess you could call it that, but I'd say I'm a bit of perfectionist, so I didn't like them because they didn't come out the way I originally envisioned. But I guess what I've learned from Game Jam is that even if when making a game, you're going to cut out a lot of things, and it's never going to come out exactly how you want it. So it's better to just do what you can, you make it function. That's what's important. Yeah. But yeah.
What about you, Vicky and Andrea? So what did you work on? What did the teammates work on?
I don't want to brag too much, but I was the artist and UI/UX designer, director, and we have Hadas there as the main writer and scenario designer, and then we have Isaac as our only programmer, bless his soul, and we have Andre as our sound engineer. Yeah. So you can just maybe give those guys a hand, if that's okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Yes.
And this is your first game at the Game Jam, right?
At the Game Jam, yes. First game at the Game Jam. Yeah. It's just really simple. It doesn't go on for long, but it technically works. So it's technically a game. I'm not lying. Yes. Yeah, option A, option B, Yeah. Basically. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So when we thought of repair, we thought of how our Earth is basically dying, and we thought of making a game that involves repairing the Earth while also sprinkling in elements of corporate greed. So I'll just define the game. When you start it up, we get our instructions. Hey, you're the CEO of the largest corporation on Earth, which is dying, by the way. You only have a year until the world ends. Your goal, make as much money as you can and don't destroy the world before it's time. So you have a limited number of choices, and each choice affects how much time the Earth has and how much money you make. So let's get picking. All right, so as you can see, our Earth is currently normal. It's not too good and it's also not too bad. And we have a choice. We can cut down the trees, reduce the wages of our employees, drill more oil, fire half of our workforce.
Fire the workforce.
Drill more oil.
All right, we fired half of the workforce. It didn't make us any money because I guess we didn't have enough productivity. All right, more choices. We can legalize child labor, advocate for world peace, close schools, or end free speech. Someone said legalize child labor. Okay, so So because child labor is cheap, we made 60 kwacha. But we have only 355 days left. So new choices: create new disease, start a war, do green farming, or dump nuclear waste. What are the answers? Disease? I hear create a disease. Okay, create a new disease. We have 255 days left, but we're profiting off of pharmaceuticals, obviously. What's next? We can build more chemical factories, add more cars, start a wildfire, or promote free speech.
Chemical factories.
Wildfire?
Did you guys just think about the world today and just start putting this?
Okay, we're losing days. We can build a dam, do nothing, improve working conditions, or recycle.
Do nothing.
Alright, do nothing. When you do nothing, you're complicit in all the bad evil of the world, so we only have 135 days left. We can clean the ocean floor, dump waste into the ocean, open a coal mine, or build schools.
Dump the waste.
Whoops. Okay, open a coal mine. 115 days left and only 4 choices. We can clear a forest, start a cattle ranch, push alternative energy.
The forest. We need more beef.
Clear the forest, okay? Our world is dying. We only have 95 days left. We can build an animal sanctuary, push plant-based alternatives for food, open a sweatshop. Open all borders. That increased our days. 2 choices left. Okay, build a wall. We can make electric vehicles, improve healthcare, poach endangered wildlife, or end child labor. Poach, okay? Alright, we ended up with 0 choices, a dying earth. We made 130 kwacha. And yeah, we ended up with 55 days left. Yeah, it truly does bring out the true you. So that's our game, and you can start again, keep going, and keep making these choices. You want to go again? Alright, build an animal sanctuary, vehicles, new disease, or endangered wildlife.
Vehicles.
Create new electric vehicles?
Yeah.
Okay, we actually did a good thing. Our Earth is a lot cleaner. We have 385 days left. World peace, green farming, more cars, or green energy. These are all good choices. Okay? Alright. Child labor, legalize it. Sustainable housing, reduce employee wages, start a cattle ranch. Sustainable housing.
Yep.
I'm hearing lots. Okay, sustainable housing.
That's the thing.
Okay, open a coal mine, cut all the trees, build more chemical factories, open all borders.
Open our borders.
Okay. We're actually making money and increasing our days. Okay, ban plastic straws, build a wall, improve working conditions, clean the ocean floor. Okay. End free speech, close schools, recycle, open a sweatshop. Recycle? Okay. End child labor, build schools, clear a forest, or fire half of the workforce. Alright. Okay, child labor reduced our profits, but we'll keep going. Build a forest reserve. Hey, we don't like it, okay? Build a dam. What? Forest reserve? Okay, forest reserve. We made lots of money from that. Improve healthcare, start a wildfire, do nothing, promote free speech.
Improve healthcare.
Okay, that cost us a bit. Start a war, drill more oil, push alternative energy, dump nuclear waste. Alright. Okay, we ended up with 70, and the world has 595 days left. So, yeah. So that's our game. It basically shows it doesn't all have to be about corporate greed. We can still focus on repairing the earth, and there's lots of things we can do to repair the earth while still making profits. And yeah, and that's our game. Any questions?
Okay.
I like it.
What inspired this?
A lot. We went through a lot of processes to actually make this. At first, it had started off with the economy, but it somehow just devolved into this. Evolved, actually, into this. Yeah.
Awesomeness.
Any other questions?
I like the so
Go beyond the grass out.
Okay.
Was this the original idea or?
No, there were 2 other original ideas. We had one that was for collecting memories to rebuild your memory. We had another one that was like this, but for the economy. All right. Okay, thank you for your time.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. So our game is called Core Repair. A story about love, betrayal, and other words I can't pronounce. So, yeah. So this is the story of our game. Any moment now. Right. Yeah, it's
One day, while marauding Zambia, Sector 1, they encounter a formidable team of vigilantes. The Sia 1. Shots are fired, but the Ifipondo managed to escape. On board is their prisoner, an engineer named MacGyver, who is now faced with the task of repairing their ship. They land and he gets to work. But just as he's about to finish, more Ifipondo ships appear out of nowhere, as if this is some sort of video game plot written by someone who has no idea what they're doing. Now, MacGyver has to fix each ship before the Sia 1 land on their signal. MacGyver, quick, Holbridge, fit the pieces together to fix the ship. Now!
So the basic premise of the game is you have to fix components of the ship in order to prevent it from being completely destroyed. So this is in form of a slide and a slide puzzle. So the puzzle gets reshuffled and you have to find a way to create it. And if you don't know how to do it, you can click here for a reference of how the picture is supposed to be. Because we solved it so many times. So when you finish the level, by the way, that's my first time doing that. So when you finish a level, you basically get introduced to another section of the ship, and the whole point of the game is for you to finish all 4 components of the ship. And when you finish that, you move on to another level, just like that. So it gets harder the more you go. I'm not gonna attempt to do this, by the way. Oops. Yeah, so if anyone wants to try, I'm still shocked at how I solved that, by the way. But yeah. Oh yeah, and there's supposed to be a timer on the game, which is set to kind of. I'll just keep doing this. Yeah, so the more the time decreases, the more the screen shakes, which signals that the ship is going to be destroyed. So it's all about you repairing the ship before the time decreases to 0. Yeah, so that's our game. That's special shout out to our programmer, our audio guy, and the awesome voice acting talent. my 5th game jam, and this is probably the game that I'm very proud of because the other ones were bad, but we actually managed to finish this game. And aside from the components we talked about, the timer and the sliding sounds, yeah, we're about to upload the game for everyone to play.
Where's my new doctor?
Oh, you're gonna find him. Special DLC.
Robot patient.
Special DLC package.
Oh, he had a DLC already.
Really?
A downloadable content.
Patient is ready for upload.
Core repair.
Yeah, what's up? How you doing?
Our original idea was about a dude who was bitten by a zombie, and he's basically on this hospital bed. So the objective of the game was for you as a doctor, Dr. MacGyver, to kind of repair him with robotic spare parts. with robotic body parts. Yeah, that would prevent the infection from spreading onto his body. So, like for an example, if you had like a combination of things that would make an arm, then you have to like solve a puzzle this side, and when you solve it, it goes over to his arm, and the infection gets stopped. So that was repairing a person from. Because the thing that happened is that we were trying to look for a free human asset model that would have like all the body parts separately modeled, so that we can just like use that as a template. But then all the models were kind of rendered as a whole, so it's very hard to like separate unless we had to create our own model, and that was going to be time. So we had to think of the quickest alternative, and this was our quickest.
Does this game get more complex, like the
Yes.
squares keeping small?
Yeah, so this
Like,
is
how many iterations?
we have what three levels. We have 3 levels so far. So the first one is a 3x3, then we have a 4x4, then the next one after this is a 5x5. That's where we kind of ended. If you could solve that, then Lord knows we tried. Yeah.
Randomizer, like you have to put that in, or
Yeah, we had to our awesome programmer. Shout out. Pew, 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 pew. Did the work. Yeah, so it's always random.
You need the images in PNG.
any other questions? Good job, guys.
Awesome.
My name is Tendai. I was the writer of this game. We made a visual novel. Because the theme was repair, we made a visual novel about someone who goes through a catastrophic event, and so they kind of want to repair their lives. And so the game gives you a bunch of options on what you can do and which paths you can go to repair your life. Yes. So we're going to start now. A male character, so I'm sorry about that I'm not narrating it. Anyway, I'm sorry we have to let you go. You are an amazing employee, but funds are low. You understand, right? It kept ringing in my head. I had just finished the final deposit on the engagement ring for my fiancé. How am I going to feed myself? My dad's still in a coma. How will I pay his medical bills? My mother needs me. My life is falling apart right now before my very... Oh, my head. Where am I? Ouch, it hurts. I hear he got laid off and tried to commit suicide. What? Suicide? Me? Chris, don't leave me, please. Chris! Mom! Ma'am, you can't go in there. That's my only son in there, Chris. Chris! Mom, is that? And so he backs off. Mr. Chris! Mr. Chris! Mom? Mr. Chris! Gasp. Who are you? I'm glad you're awake. You've been out for 5 days. You're in the hospital and you were hit by a bus. A bus? I don't. Nihongo harimashite. I don't remember. Suddenly I remembered everything. It all came back to me so fast. My job, the bus, the depression, the lights. But the bus, had I avoided it? Did I see it? I don't remember. Did I want it to be this way? Did I commit suicide? Mr. Chris. I'm sorry. I'm worried about you, Mr. Chris. Is there anyone I can call for you? Yes. Please call someone. That's a good choice. Who would you want me to call? My mom.
Fiancé.
Chris! Chris, are you okay? Mom? They said you tried to commit suicide. That can't be true, can it? Say it isn't so, Chris. Honestly, I can't remember. So, did we commit did we commit suicide or not?
Yes, it was all too much for me. Guys, quite giant, bro. I had to go.
You see, this is what we're trying to prevent.
Yes or no?
Nope.
No.
Yes?
Suicide is for losers.
No?
No.
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 Yes.
No.
I'm sorry, I
Nah.
took the easy way out. Yes.
No.
No.
Okay.
The president must go.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
so we'll
We'll
go for. Okay, I'll pick whichever.
Nope.
I'll go for no. No, I could never leave you. Are you telling the truth? Was it really an accident? Yes, it was. I love you. I can never leave you guys. Oh, I knew it. I knew you would never leave me, Chris. I was stressed out about my job and Dad and you and Lily, and it was all too much, and tears began to roll down my face. My mom embraced me. It will get better. Your father and I love you dearly. I failed to put anything into words, and I began to sob in my mother's arms. You get better slowly. Your mom tells you that your dad is stable and the doctors have hope of him waking up soon. She tells you about her private emergency fund and how you don't have to worry about her.
Oh, that's so good.
That's it.
Don't do it.
Mom says when you commit suicide, we can go down the mom route.
You want CD?
No. Lily isn't here. Okay, so we want to see what the mom will say if we did commit suicide. So let's get rid of sports.
This is just the other one.
You committed suicide. Hey, mate.
Lily isn't in here.
Yes.
Oh, so yes.
Too much.
Yes, it was all too much for me. What? Chris, it can't be. You would never leave your father in hospital. You would never leave me alone. I'm sorry, Mom. I just can't handle this anymore. How could you say that to me? Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Where's the winkle again?
Slowly, she blurs and fades away. I can no longer fight this. It's no longer worth it. You don't repair a relationship with your mother, and your father passes away in hospital. The loss of your father pulls you down into a deep hole of depression. Your life ends sad and alone.
Damn.
Yes. That is what we wanted. But that is not how he's supposed to die. His mother beat him with a winko. Die.
These sort of things. What instrument did you use?
This was Renpai.
Yeah. I think
The characters. So we'll review them on paper, and then we scanned them, and then we edited them on the computers.
The story. So then when the bus hit him, right?
Yeah.
At first it was thought to be suicide. And then when we go for the second option, it isn't suicide. So then his girlfriend really just didn't love it.
What?
No, so we still went down the path of his mom.
Yeah.
So he calls his mom.
Yes.
She does the option of who do you want to.
Kaboom.
Yeah. So he calls
You
his
could-
mom instead.
The images are not yet loaded for the girlfriend. So if we
But
went
you
down the
can-
girlfriend path, you would just see a black image.
Let's go through it so we just see. So
Okay. You can see what the girlfriend is there. She does exist.
Okay, this one. Hardest?
is there in the preferences? Is there like a 4K version?
Is there
PC master.
Yes, with some ray tracing too.
Yeah.
So you just like put
Yeah.
the pictures like
What? Okay. So we know what happened, so we'll skip this part.
gets it by bus.
Gets hit by a bus.
What kind of
Basu.
It's an isekai.
Lusaka. The nurse asks me a bunch of questions.
2021, etchy.
So
Hey, relax.
he wanted to call someone, so he said, call my fiancée Lily, right?
Yep.
That's Lily.
So this is Lily right now. Chris, thank God you were awake. How do you feel? Chris, stay silent. It's okay. You don't have to speak. There's a moment of silence. They said you tried to commit suicide. Is it true, Chris? Honestly, I don't remember. Yes, it's true. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
We don't need this
Yes,
conversation.
it's true.
Yes, it's true. What? Why? We just planned our lives together. Why didn't you tell me? I could never speak to you about this. What do you mean? I'm your fiance. You can't tell me anything. You know that. Not anymore. What did you just say? Not anymore. I can't do this anymore. Why you? Fine.
It's about you.
Suit yourself. Hell, I care. Lily left.
Lily, don't leave.
After Lily left, the will to fight and fix my life dwindled slowly. You slowly stopped talking to Lily and your family, and it ate you up inside, and you faded away. That's what happens when you.
The second time you succeeded.
The second time you succeeded.
Second time's a charm, right?
Okay, so that's the game.
Was making the visual novel as approachable, as easy as you can it be? What was the most challenging thing? Like before you started making the game, you thought, yeah, this is actually pretty easy. But then when you got into it, you're like, oh my god, this is actually work.
One thing I think was difficult is the subtle things that require a lot of coding. So there's a lot of coding in it just for
Like the glass
words.
doesn't look like
Yeah, it
code.
doesn't look like it, but
Code.
then there's a lot of coding also making sure that the jumps go to the right places. And then the other difficult thing, of course, was making so many characters so quickly. So we weren't able to finish that, and that's why some of them were glitchy. But yes.
Getting emotions right and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You have to have different outputs for the
For each
emotions.
character,
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Exactly. Each character has different expressions. Yeah.
And there's so much work that goes on paper just as much as it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we have to do it on paper and then we have to redo it digitally and then put it there.
Whack.
Yeah, so that's it.
Just
ありがとうございます。